I'd like to give all glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Quedash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles that have taught this truth and continue to teach this truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect. Let's open this up with a precept, Job 20 and 23. When he is about to fill his belly, our power shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. Let's get another precept here. And the Egyptians, and in this context, it's not speaking of the Egyptians of Egypt. This reference is being made to the captivity that we were in Egypt. And so basically it's saying the place of captivity. Okay? And so again, we were in captivity in Egypt. And Yahweh, through Moses and Aaron, brought us out of that captivity. Yahweh brought us out with a strong arm. And so, in this context, this reference point where it's saying, and the Egyptians, okay, it's basically saying the place of captivity, okay? And so let's get into this from the beginning. And the Egyptians, or place of captivity, which is North America, who are the people that are being held in captivity here? The so-called Negro, or Black American, Latinos, and Indians, which would be the tribe of Gad, Mexico, Puerto Ricans, and Judah. So let's clean that up. And so the tribes, the Latin tribes, which are the Puerto Ricans, Ephraim, Mexico or Mexicans, Issachar, you got Gad, the North American Indians, you got Judah, you have some Benjamin and Levi here. The tribes are here, okay? You know, Manasseh, the Cubans, you know, Simeon, the Dominicans, you know, the tribes are here. All right, let's move on. Benjamin and Levi. Okay, the tribes are here. All right, and we're in captivity here. All right, and so let's go over this again. And the Egyptians, or the place of captivity, or the people responsible for the captivity. Okay, and the Egyptians will give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, And so what just happened in these recent elections? Okay. Trump is in office, and he has been signing executive orders after executive orders. He's the cruel Lord that is being spoke of right here in this precept here. Okay. He's the fierce king that's being spoke of here in this precept here. And so let's get this in its entirety now. And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, a fierce king, shall rule over them, saith Yahweh, Yahweh of creation, Yahweh of armies. And so Yahweh said that that the Egyptians, and we'll get it one more time so we can get we can get all the meat off the bone off this piece. And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord. And who is that I? That is Yahweh. This is Yahweh speaking. He's basically saying that he's going to allow the Egyptians, or the place of captivity, right? I will give over into the hand of a cruel Lord. He's going to give this place of captivity into the hand of a cruel Lord. And right now it's in the hand of a cruel Lord. And that hand is president is the current president, which is Mr. Trump. All right. One more time. And the Egyptians I will give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith Yahweh, Yahweh of creation, Yahweh of armies. All right. Let's dive into the lesson here in Daniel 5 here. But I want to get this precept one more time, this Job 20 and 23. When he is about to fill his belly. Now, right now, they're setting up their so-called new world regime, their new world order, right? And they're putting these different plans into place, right? Such as the detention centers, right? Alligator Alcatraz. Matter of fact, let's get a pic here. Take a look at this. You got heathen stopping and taking pictures proudly, huh? Alligator Alcatraz. But what they don't realize is that the trap that you're laying as you're filling up your belly and laying up these different traps and snares, they don't understand that you're the ones that are going to be in these alligator Alcatrazes. Huh? Ultimately, what you plan for us is going to be for you. Okay? And yes, the Most High fully intends to destroy the 2/3. Okay? The Most High said that he was going to destroy the 2/3. You wicked 2/3 out there. You wicked niggas. Huh? But also, you wicked heathen, the traps and the snares that you're setting to lay our people in are really being laid for you. Because the Most High said that he was going to destroy the wicked 2/3, and he was also going to destroy you heathen. Look at this here. Another example. Look at this right here. Our people are wondering, Our own people, right? The Latinos, Mexico, right? And the rest of you Latin tribes. And the Latinos, which would be Mexico, which is the tribe of Issachar, Puerto Ricans, the tribe of Ephraim, Manasseh, the Cubans, the Dominicans, the tribe of Simeon. Let's move on. You know, Mexico and Puerto Rico. You know, look at this right here. It says Latinos thought only black illegals would be deported. Again, another example of trap that was being laid, right? And you thought that trap was going to be for our people, and you were ensnared in that trap with your wicked, treasonous ass. Huh? Look at this here. Latino man threats to black Americans. We won't support reparations. Why won't you? Huh? See, the truth is coming forth of what you really think and feel towards your people, right? You are our people. But since you have made the conscious effort to not only deny the truth that you are Israelites and that you are our people, you are a part of this 2/3, you 2/3 Negroes. Huh? You're the 2/3 that the Most High spoke of that he's going to destroy. Huh? And look at the shit you're doing. Because you will not repent. You will not come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments. You will not come back to Yahweh. You deny us who are in these streets, who are on the web teaching this truth. You deny it. You scoff, you laugh, huh? You're into Santa Marias and Catholicism and all this bullshit, right? Islam, Christianity, you know, atheism, right? You have lost your mind. And yeah, you know, not only, you know, the wicked 2/3 is really talking about our people, the people of the tribes, all 12 tribes. 2/3 of you ain't gonna make it. Okay? You know, and we're looking at some of our people that have turned their back on the ancient way of Yahweh and turned their back on their people. They are our people. But since you don't want to take heed, you have marked yourselves to be destroyed. The wicked 2/3. Moving on. You are part of that 2/3 that's going to get destroyed, and the Most High is dealing with you, right? And so when we see stuff like this, deportation flights drop deportees in sea. Man's goings are of the Lord. Man's goings are of the Lord.
And so essentially that means man's goings are of the Lord. Essentially that means that everything that transpires on this planet, the Heavenly Father has sanctioned it. Okay? It is by the will of Yahweh. Okay? A sparrow doesn't fall to the ground unless Yahweh sanctioned or approved it. Huh? A sparrow. How much more man? And so every thought, action, everything that you do is sanctioned by Yahweh. Man's goings are of the Lord. Moving on.
Huh? See, y'all thought that y'all going to get away with your treasonous acts. You thought that the light would never be shined on what you truly feel and think towards us. You thought that that light would never shine on you and you would never be exposed for your wickedness. And so this is what the Most High is doing to you wicked ass 2/3. Huh? And he's just getting started. Huh? He's just getting started. Multiple bodies found with hands and feet in the Mediterranean Sea off of Spain. Let's get back to the lesson. And so I want to get back to Job 23. When he is about to fill his belly, our power shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. So let's get into the lesson. Daniel 5. Okay. Belteshazzar, the king, made a great feast of 1,000 of his lords, and drank wine before the thousands. Belshazzar, whilst he tasted the wine, commanded to bring the golden and the silver vessels which his father Nebuchadnezzar had taken out of the temple, which was in Jerusalem, that the king and his princes and his wives and his concubines might drink therein. Then they brought the golden vessels that were taken out of the temple of the house of our power, which was at Jerusalem, and the king and his princes and his wives and his concubines drank in them. Look at this shit. They drink wine and praise the gods of gold and of silver, of brass, of iron, of wood, and of stone. And the same hour came forth fingers of a man's hand, and wrote over against the candlestick upon the pilaster of the wall of the king's palace. And the king saw the part of the hand that wrote. The king's countenance was changed, and his thoughts troubled him, so that the joints of his loins were loosed, and his knees smote one against another. The king cried aloud to bring in the astrologers, the Chaldeans, and the soothsayers. And the king spake, and said to the wise men of Babylon, whosoever shall read this writing, and show me the interpretation thereof, shall be clothed with scarlet, and have a chain of gold about his neck, and shall be the third ruler in the kingdom. Then came in the king's wise men, but they could not read the writing, nor make known to the king the interpretation thereof. Then was King Belshazzar greatly troubled, and his countenance was changed in him. And his lords were astonished. Now the queen, by reason of the word of the king and his lords, came into the banquet house. And the queen spake and said, O king, live forever. Let not thy thoughts trouble thee, nor let thy countenance be changed. There is a man in the kingdom in whom is the spirit of the holy powers. And in the days of thy father, light and understanding and wisdom, like the wisdom of our powers. Pardon me. Like the wisdom of the powers was found in him, whom the king Nebuchadnezzar thy father, the king, I say, thy father, made master of the magicians and astrologers and Chaldeans and soothsayers, for as much as an excellent spirit and knowledge and understanding, interpreting of dreams and showing of hard sentences and dissolving of doubts were found in the same Daniel, whom the king named Belshazzar. Now let Daniel be called, and he will show the interpretation. Then was Daniel brought in before the king. And the king spake and said unto Daniel, Art thou that Daniel, which art of the children of the captivity of Judah, whom the king my father brought out of Jewry? I have even heard of thee, that the spirit of the gods is in thee, and that light and understanding and excellent wisdom is found in thee. And now the wise men, the astrologers, have been brought in before me, that they should read this writing and make known unto me the interpretation thereof. But they could not show the interpretation of the thing. I have heard of thee, that thou canst make interpretations and dissolve doubts. Now if thou canst read the writing and make known to me the interpretation thereof, thou shalt be clothed with scarlet and have a chain of gold about thy neck, and shall be the third ruler in the kingdom. Then Daniel answered and said before the king, Let thy gifts be to thyself. So let's get a precept and let's get an understanding why he said that. And so basically what he said to him is that you keep your gifts. Okay? And so let's go to 2 Chronicles 19:7. Wherefore, or therefore, now let the fear of Yahweh be upon you. Take heed and do it. For there is no iniquity with Yahweh our power, nor respect of persons, nor taking of gifts. Excuse me. Okay? Let's get another precept real quick. He that is greedy of gain troubleth his own house, but he that hateth gifts shall live. Let's get another one. Deuteronomy 16:19. Thou shalt not wrest judgment. Okay, let's get into that word wrist. Okay.
Strong's H 5186. Nachath. Nachath. Second entry. Natah. Natah.
So, to turn aside, incline, decline, bend down, to hold out, to turn, incline, influence, bend down, hold out, extend, thrust aside, thrust away. Okay? And so, let's get back to the lesson. Thou shalt not risk judgment, turn down or turn away judgment. Thou shalt not respect persons, neither take a gift, for a gift doeth blind the eyes of the wise, and pervert the words of the righteousness. Pardon me, pervert the words of righteous. Okay? So let's get back to the lesson here. Let's get back to where we were. So now we understand why Daniel told him to keep his gift. Okay? I lost my place, so give me a second. All right, we're at 17. Okay? Then Daniel answered and said before the king, let thy gifts be to thyself, and give the rewards to another. Yet I will read the writing on to the king, and make known to him the interpretation. O thou king, the most high power gave Nebuchadnezzar thy father a kingdom, and majesty, and glory, and honor, and for the majesty that he gave him, all the people, nations, languages, trembled and feared before him, whom he slew, and whom he keep alive, and whom he would set up, and whom he would put down. But when his heart was lifted up, and his mind hardened in pride, he was deposed from his kingly throne, and they took his glory from him. And he was driven from the sons of men, and his heart was made like the beast. Heart meaning mind. And so his mind was made like the beast, and his dwelling was in the wild, and his dwelling was with the wild asses. They fed him with grass like oxen, and his body was wet with the dew of heaven. And so this man literally was walking around on all fours like a beast eating grass. That's what the Most High did to him. Why did the Most High do that to him? Let's go back and read it. But when his heart was lifted up and his mind was hardened with pride, he was deposed from his kingly throne, and they took his glory from him. And so the Most High Yahweh reduced him to an animal. Okay? Because he lifted himself up with pride. What does that mean? He thought that he was above and beyond the power of Yahweh. And we see the same bullshit today. The same bullshit in this and the rulers today. And they will be deposed in similar fashion. And so, what did Job 20 and 23 say? Let's take a pause and let's read it, and then we'll come right back to this. All right? Job 20 and 23. It says, when he is about to fill his belly, our power shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. Let's get back to it. Let's get back to the lesson. Okay? Go down here to 22. And thou, his son, O Belshazzar, has not humbled thy heart, though thou knowest all this. Right? And so basically Daniel said that you know all this and still you haven't humbled your heart either. Let's continue. But has lifted up thyself against the Lord of heaven, and they have brought the vessels of his house before thee, and thou and thy lords, thy wife, thy concubine, have drunk wine in them, and thou hast praised the powers of silver and gold, of brass, iron, wood, and stone, which see not, nor hear, nor know, and the power in whose hand thy breath is, and whose are all thy ways, hast thou not glorified? Then was the part of the hand sent from him, and the writing was written. And this is the writing that was written: Mene, Mene, Tekel, Upharsin. This is the interpretation of the thing. Mene, our power hath numbered thy kingdom and finished it. Tekel, thou art weighed in the balances and are found wanting. Pares, thy kingdom is divided and given to the Medes and the Persians. Then commanded Belshazzar, and they clothed Daniel with scarlet, and put the chain of gold around his neck, and made a proclamation concerning him, that he should be the third ruler in the kingdom. In that night was Belshazzar the king of the Chaldeans slain, and Darius the Mede took the kingdom, being about 80 years old. I pray that was edifying. Shalom.